Good morning folks, Stoo from Stoo's Secret Stash here, and today I'm coming to you from the National Holden Museum in Coffs Harbour. This is a museum that has only been operational for slightly over 12 months and has been the brainchild of a local Holden dealer and businessman, and Jeff King, who runs the local dealership, and we're very fortunate here in Coffs Harbour. Those who will know about Holden museums and history will know that the title National Holden Museum was previously held in Echuca, the National Holden Museum down there, and probably 18 months ago when Echuca closed down and there was a great auction, Jeff was fortunate enough to be able to buy the title National Holden Museum from the Echuca Holden Museum, and it now holds pride of place in this smallish museum here in Coffs Harbour. But we're very lucky and very fortunate, and we're able to celebrate the nostalgia of Holden through this museum. So today I'm going to bring you the National Holden Museum in Coffs Harbour and be able to talk about some of the exhibits there. So we're just coming into the National Holden Museum, and straight away in the foyer here is a 1957 FE Holden, and look at the colours. I love the fact now you look at today's colours and they're all white, silver, gunmetal grey, very dull tones, and this is an example of the 50s and the early 60s with these two-tone blue and a day of motoring that probably will never be realised again. Anyway, here we are, folks. It's also, the National Holden Museum also doubles up as the Bunker Cartoon Gallery, and we might have a look at that at the end of our tour. But I'm very fortunate today to be able to be given the royal treatment, I guess you could say, apart from the fact that this is a Holden Museum and doubles up as somewhat as a gift shop or souvenirs or whatever you like to say. But we've got some very dedicated staff, and one of those dedicated staff who's going to be looking after me or chewing the fat with me is my mate Mitchell. How are you today, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Good. You're looking the part?
Yeah, I got my uniform on.
So you had to go through an induction to get the uniform?
Nah. Just got to be car mad.
Oh, hey, we're at the right place.
Yeah.
So, I'd love you to show me around if you would be kind enough to do that.
We'll give you the royal tour.
Fantastic.
Let's go.
All right, let's go. Okay, coming up the steps, the first car we're greeted with is the HX Holden Caprice. So from 1976, these beautiful machines came out with of course they were all Australian built, came out with a 5 litre, which was then a 308 V8 motor, and they became the flagship. So as you know about Statesman's, the Brougham was the introduction to the Statesman, and that followed up with the Statesman, and then they became the DeVille and the Caprice. So they were the two models before it became even more diverse with the Magnum and Grange and so forth. But this is a HX, and he's in remarkably preserved condition, and it's great to see an original Holden with the vinyl roof. Of course, these things often hid a multitude of sins, and there's all kinds of stories about whether they were painted, whether they were undercoated and so forth. But it's great to see a car which is certainly a museum piece, not just because it's in a museum, but look at the condition of that car. And having owned one of these shape, I can tell you they are beautiful and delightful cars, but in this day and age, probably not terribly economical to run as a daily drive. Just beautiful. And fortunately you don't find any of them around anymore, but this is a Caprice, so it had extra options, and yeah, you can park that in my garage anytime you like. And adorning all the walls and in cabinets and so forth, while we'll be stopping to have a quick look, are a number of static displays, from car models to memorabilia to posters, and we'll endeavour to try and have a bit of a look at those. Next car we've got is a VB Holden Commodore SLE. So this, the VB of course was the first of the Holden Commodores, following on from the HZ Kingswood range. And the Holden Commodore was a huge departure for Holden from the tried and tested H series Holdens. And I remember them coming out and being quite aghast at the very different shape. Now, I'm not sure what motor this car's got in it, but these cars were available with the 3.3, which used to equate to the 202, and then you could option them up with the 253, which of course was the 4.2 litre, or if you're really in the know, you would grab a 5 litre, which was in the 308. But beautifully appointed cars. And again, this one is obviously a museum piece. It's not in the condition you would find in a Coles car park. And it's great to see.
I'll open the door for
Oh.
you here.
Oh mate, royalty.
Interior and that. So this particular car, Bianchi models use this exact car to make their
Is that
model car.
right?
Yeah. So the little red VB Commodore that you can buy off the shelf is actually modelled off this exact car.
I feel very privileged. Now, hang on while I just touch the seat and go, I've touched this car.
Yeah. No, it's great, yeah, especially in the red.
Do you know if it's a V8 or not, this one?
It's a 6.
It's a 6, right? Yep, 3.3. Yep. Because as I pointed out, the V8s were optional, so you had 2 levels of options. So, but what a lovely machine. And things like here is where they wear for starters, and then everywhere else. But I mean, this car's it hasn't seen much sunlight and much use and abuse. Thank you for that. Well, there you go, folks.
167,000.
167.
So decent for its time.
It's probably about a 1978 model, I would dare say. 79, something like that. Moving on to the VK Holden Vacationer. And as it says, it came out in 1984. Again, they came out with 6-cylinder or optional V8 motors. And this is a standard, I can say it's not standard, but it is a special edition Vacationer model, but they're still pretty standard when you compare them to what was on offer for the Calais and then what became the HDT models. But it will be a 6-cylinder, T-bar auto, and a good family car on the occasion. And very popular now, the VKs. Try and find one of these and you'll know how rare they are and sought after they are. Moving on, we've got a VN Berliner, a Holden Berliner, and the VNs were really interesting because that was when HDT really started to make its mark, and in conjunction with HSV. And this particular example is a HSV modified car. It's a manual, it's a 5 litre, and it actually came from Melbourne. So you see there that it's got the, looking over here, it's got the HDT wheels, and it's got the very subtle body kit and other subtle touches. And looking in there, manual, V8, 5 litre, what would be a prized car now. And I can't get to the odometer, but I imagine it's probably done very few kilometres, and it's sitting here as part of this static Holden display today. So I couldn't resist having a look and was amazed to learn that this car has done 23,000 kilometres from new, not 230, not 130, but 23,000 kilometres. And the telling tales were the fact that it just had no wear. You look on it, it's hasn't been sat in much. Everything is as the maker intended, and it's not very often that you get a Commodore of the age of the VN that is like that. So 23,000 kilometres in this time warp, 5-speed, 5-litre Commodore. Next car in the exhibit is a WN Holden Caprice, and of course you would know that by now they had the Chev motor, and this one is a Series 2, so I would know that this, as you would know, the Series 1s had a 6-litre and the Series 2s came out with a 6.2 litre. So I guess you could say a stroker in common modern terms. And what a beautiful machine. The leather, the ambiance. There's a word I haven't said very often.
Certainly from a time before we had a lot of imports from Mercedes and BMW.
Yes.
This was the car, especially in models before this. You saw one in the driveway, you thought, they've made it, what are they doing?
Absolutely. And this was the real, I guess you could say, flagship for Holden.
Certainly was.
This was...
you got everything, even got DVD screens in the back on the seats. The rear seats are bolstered as well, so it's almost like a 4-seater, even though it's got 5 seat belts. Really made for backseat comfort.
And you wouldn't happen to be biased at all about the WN Statesman shape, would you, Mitchell?
Not at all, yes.
Despite the fact that you own one. No, I know what you mean, though. This is, you call it what you like. Call it a Luxo barge, call it, the Statesmans became synonymous with being the ultimate cruisers.
They handle really well for their size, and given that this model was the same WM and WN, which carried through in the shorter wheelbase from the VE through to the VF.
Yes,
and it managed to remain looking relevant and not dated.
Yes.
And even today, I don't think they look very dated at all.
No, I have to agree with you there.
So that's a testament to the design, and everything about it accentuates the length. Like you've got the body crease that's probably like, 5 metres something?
Yes.
And then also your chrome down the bottom here, everything sort of accentuates the length and the almost 50 centimetre indicator fluid.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. And the only panel that these actually shared with the VE and VF is the front door.
There you go.
Every other panel, including the rear doors, are about 12 centimetres longer. Every other panel is unique to this car.
So if I managed to buy one for spare parts, a rough one because I had a VF Commodore or VE Commodore or whatever the case may be, I'd be soon very disappointed.
That is correct. And even the updates through VE and VF in the Commodore, the WN to the M to N, receive the same updates. So even though it's the same, the underpinnings are actually very different.
Wow.
They're not interchangeable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gosh, lovely. And you're getting close to the end of the run, really, aren't you, with the M and the N's?
Yeah.
Very close to because like I say, they align to the VFs. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the VF was, of course, the final swan song for Holden in terms of manufacturing in Australia.
They certainly made a few nice ones at the end.
They did. Yes. They did. Yes. Haven't owned a VF, but certainly own or a WM or N Statesman. But I'm up to about my 10th Statesman now. So yes, I've certainly still got one. And moving on here, the WH. So this was the one of the early cars in terms of the LS motor.
That's right.
And, you know, motoring for the masses. We mourned the loss of the 5 litre, which had then become the 304 by then, the 304 injected. But General Motors gave us the Chev motor, and many people have continued in the faith of, you know, power of the world with Chevys. Kind of touch, but again, a flagship, and really, really sought after. You could buy this car with a 3.8 litre V6 supercharged, as well as the 5.7 litre. And yeah, the luxury barge continued, and for a time looked like it was going to be unstoppable, and indeed that the Statesman was going to continue for generations. We weren't to know that trouble was looming.
And a lot of them did last for generations too. People who bought them tended to look after them.
Yes, yes.
So there was a few on the road.
Yes.
They did have a bit of a grandpa sort of vibe to them.
I resent that. I resent that statement. I've got silver hair. I'm not a grandpa yet, Mitchell.
I'm getting there. You know, there's a niche market for them, but I think that there's certainly a following coming.
Yes,
especially in the United States, the WMs
yes.
and Ns
yes.
were imported as police car only, so they actually weren't available to the open market.
There you go.
So there's a big following there. People buying them because of everything that they are, really, the power and everything.
So the only way you could really drive one would be to be a policeman or to steal a police car.
When they're decommissioned.
Right, yes. Okay, oh wow.
But the interior was like the VE Omega spec.
Yes,
so they weren't a luxury model.
No. Right, oh, that's very good. Very good. And in the corner we have the delightful VS Statesman. And it's a shame that it's in the corner like this. I actually have a VS at home, a VS Grange. You will see it. I'll bring it out at some stage once I get it back on the road. It needs minor tweaks to get it back on the road. And this particular example looks like it's a supercharged V6. So it's got the 3.8 with what they call the L67, the supercharge, and they were really, really good cars. Personally, I love the VS shape the most, but I am very biased.
The detail in this one too, like you've got the little Holden reef emblems on the seats and on the door cards as well.
Yes.
Not lots of nice little touches in these.
Which tells you that's a Statesman. I know it's a Statesman, but the model is actually a Statesman when you've got those reefs and so forth in there. I just love the little things, like the reef on the bonnet there, and just a nice shape. They were a really nice shape. They did everything well. Very impressive, and they've got a bit of a following. Unfortunately, many of them, by the time they've become collectible, many of them have been wrapped around trees and various other things as the boy racers and the do-gooders and die-hards get hold of them.
Back when you could buy a car with $800 with 8 months rego, and
mate, I've done it many times.
Fun, yeah.
I've bought half a dozen of these rough cars and parted most of them out because they were that ruined when I got them, not when I finished with them, because I didn't buy them with. If they were good cars, I would have kept them or sold them on. But yeah, just great.
Part of the reason why there's not a lot of some of these models around anymore.
Exactly right.
Went to that. There was that dip in the market. 10, 15 years ago, and they've all been parted out or.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's only a few survivors.
Yes. In the corner here, we've got a VX Holden Commodore, again with the supercharged V6, and a very clean, low mileage car. This particular car is another example of motoring for the masses, and there used to be so many of these running around. These were idyllic family cars. And this particular model is an S, so it's got extra, I guess you could say, options that were not available in the standard cars, things like the special seats and the body kit. And it has the huge mileage of 40,000 kilometres, so it's barely running as well. And you look at the condition of the red paintwork, although it probably could do with a little bit of a spiff up in terms of some treatment, some extra polish or whatever. It's not faded, it's not scratched, and it's in remarkable order. 40,000 kilometres. So really, you can't buy a new Holden today, but you could if you could reef this off Jeff King. You might be lucky, but why would you want to? And coming on next is what I caught my attention is these utes are really, they've come into their own. Gone are the days where I remember my dad, who used to have a variety of utes, which finished with the H series Holdens. I think his last one, no, not a H series, because his last one was a WB. But in all honesty, Mitchell, they were reliable.
Yep.
But they were not smooth. They were not comfortable. Workhorses, and they were very agricultural. Then Holden really upped the ante a number of years later with cars with utes that were like armchairs. You could sit in them. You could program your stereo. You could hit the air conditioning, cruise control, and all those kind of things. And I don't know if you know anything about this, but this is an interesting one because it's got Magnum stickers on it.
Yeah, so Magnum, if you recall the days, Magnum was a Brock name.
Yes,
the
yes.
old WB days.
Indeed.
WB.
Yes, it was WB, yeah.
And so right at the end, they did a few special models. So there was a Magnum, there was also a Calais, which was called a Director.
Indeed,
there wasn't
yes.
many of them.
Yes.
As well as the Motorsports edition as well. So this one, there was only 240 of them built.
Oh, wow.
This is build number 16. Lots of special things about it. I thought it was just a ute with stickers on it.
Yeah.
So it has the LS3 up the front.
The LS3,
It's
wow.
got different seats in there, which are more of the seats that you would found in the Chevy SS exported to the States. So this one's manual, LS3 6.2 litre. It has trans cooler, oil cooler, staggered wheels, floating discs, and it was GM track certified, so you could race it and not void your warranty.
Oh, wow.
Not that it's still in warranty.
Floating disc, that sounds like a condition I would get at my age. If I roll over too fast in bed or something like that.
So this one has a grand total of 53 kilometres on it.
Oh my goodness.
I have the privilege of saying that I've done about 6 of those kilometres. So it was.
Well, you're a lucky boy, aren't you?
Yeah, it was certainly a special moment. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a beautiful car, and Holden, they took things out of the box. They did all these little things that may not have been financially viable at the time, but they did it for the enthusiasts.
It just astounds me how a car manufacturer can go from being so wonderfully in tune with enthusiasts and then not too long afterwards go, sorry, we're shutting down.
Yeah, lots of theories about that.
Oh, I know, and a lot to do with bean counters and politics and offshore investments and various other things, of course. But what a shame. But I guess we can stand here and just Google the nostalgia and be thankful for the fact that at least they did release something for us to remember it by.
This actually it has a different rear end in it as well. So it actually has I believe it's the sedan rear end. So you do lose a bit of payload, but it's for the rear piece.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you could hop in this car and race it.
Yep, under warranty.
Well,
maybe not insured, but under warranty.
Jeff wouldn't know if we took this for a spin, would he?
Oh, not notice.
Really interesting. I mean, from a distance, looks like any other kind of VF ute that you see. But you get up close and you go, hang on a moment, there's all these little subtle hints and you go, something's not right here. Yes. And Mitchell, I'm guessing this may be your favourite car in the display because I know you're rather partial to Monaros.
This is one of my favourites.
Yes.
So VZ, CV8Z Monaro. It's from a time when I was in school and I'd see them on the road. It's like the classic car of my time.
Absolutely.
And so...
Spring chicken he is.
Still see it and like, oh wow. Yeah, so they base the numbers on, I believe they base the numbers on only about 6,000 sales.
Yes,
And
yes.
they ended up doing, I can't remember, but it's some astronomical number off them.
Yeah.
So this one is a October 2005 from memory. So the last month of production. It's got 153 kilometres on it. Unfortunately,
Hang on a moment, you missed the 1,000, 153. I'm sure you mean 153,000.
153, so probably
Wow.
test drive kilometres only.
Wow.
Absolutely beautiful, and it's the hero colour.
Which is the tiger from memory?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes, yes. And of course you can, there's lots of differences, but visually the big obvious giveaway, and unfortunately lots of people have retrofitted these, but that's the fluting in the bonnet here is the most obvious giveaway, but there were a whole lot of different styling changes from wheels to body kits and trim and various other things.
Certainly the VZ edition like this received a lot of different tweaks to the front bar and the back bar. The dual exhaust on these we can thank the Americans for that. So when these were sent out to the States, the Americans, I believe they have you need the fuel tank to be in the boot or something like that.
Yes.
So with these to export them, because it was only the VZs that went out there, they had to move the tank up, which actually gave them room for the proper left-right.
I thought you were going to say bimodal there for a moment, but
and the pipes on them are like
the
outlets are massive. And whereas previously they were just similar to the VT through to VZ SSs, where it was just the two outlets on the left-hand side.
Yes.
Certainly made a difference to the looks.
So 153 kilometres full stop.
Full stop, and I've driven it 8 metres. Started straight up the other day.
Wow. Okay, mate. I've decided I'll take both these cars. Thanks, mate. I'll just hag you a little bit on the price, but
Pay for paying hopes and dreams, like me.
Yes, exactly. Okay. And a Holden FX, a 48-215. I recognise this car, Mitchell. This car was actually at the Holden Museum probably 18 months ago when they closed it down, and I watched this one be sold along with the title for National Holden Museum, and I wasn't aware that it was coming back to Coffs because it was a phone bidder.
Yep.
And I do know this car was meticulously restored. And did you know the story behind 48-215 and why it was called the 48-215?
I believe it is to do with the year of
1948, that's correct.
And to do with the engine size as well.
2.15 litre. Yep. So all the brochures will say 2.2 litre, but in actual fact it's a 2.15 litre motor, the big 6-cylinder motor. And having driven an FJ just yesterday, they go really quite well.
I got to drive one a few months ago, actually. It was an interesting experience. First time for me for using the tree.
3 on the tree.
Yeah, but I got there.
Yes, I drove one just yesterday, and I was actually really impressed. And I do want one.
Nostalgic.
Very nostalgic. Like I said, though, in my other YouTube, look it up. I'm driving an FJ, a black FJ Holden. Brakes are optional though. You hit the brakes and you have to allow for 5 seconds while they decide, okay, let's play rock, paper, scissors to see whether we're going to apply the brakes this time or not.
Yes. Don't test that theory, that's for sure.
So this particular car was photographed with the Prime Minister at the time, John Howard, at the 50th anniversary celebrations of Holden. So whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, this car has got some kind of royalty or notoriety attached to it. So, lovely machine, and was certainly well presented in Echuca with some other very, very nice cars. And like I said, folks, lots of memorabilia all over the walls, and that is changing from time to time, as the collection are too. It's only a small display, but they try to recycle them or cycle them as much as possible. Now, I believe that all these cars presented are actually the property of Jeff King, every single one of them.
That's correct, yeah.
So I'll have to talk to Jeff and say, Jeff, how do we fund a building like this so I can put my private collection in a building like this? That'd be the go.
I want to fund my own collection first.
Dreams, mate, that's what it's called.
No, he's very generous in having the cars here on display, so it benefits the organisation. So the bunker itself is a not-for-profit organisation.
Yes.
So it need all the dollars that come through help to pay the bills, really.
Great.
We need to keep the lights on,
yes,
and everything there. So everyone that comes through and supports us is really appreciated.
And he gets a great place to store his cars.
Yeah.
Hey, that works for me as well.
And people can enjoy them.
Absolutely. So we'll go and get some croissants for breakfast in the cafe.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go and ring the bell. So go for a walk through here, and there's the last view of the cars on display with the Holden sign lit up. And what a shame we don't see that anymore in regular workplaces.
Interesting story about the Holden sign there.
Yes.
When everything was being put together, we thought, a Holden sign would look really good there. Anyway, so Jeff was following an auction for a Holden sign. He didn't believe he had one anymore. And the sign ended up going for something like $35,000.
Oh my goodness.
Happened to be talking to one of his workers, and they said, we've got one out the back of Maxville.
Oh my
sure
goodness.
Enough, here it is, undamaged, and it fits perfectly, didn't need to be cut.
And of course, Jeff King also owns the dealership, or owned the dealership down at Maxville. So that was just fantastic. So that's an investment in itself. The value of that logo. So there's some poster with those that are sponsoring and helping and assisting, and of course there's many volunteers that are involved now with the museum. And now we come on to the cafe area. Of course, I was joking before when I said let's have a croissant for breakfast because it's not open, but when the museum is in operation, they have a cafe. It's a small cafe that you can buy your bickies and your coffee and various other things. But that's not what we're here for. We've got two other exhibits, and interesting ones here. This particular machine, this 05 Ute, is actually a car with a genuine story and worth following up on. So this is actually a 2001 Targa Tasmania Ute that was actually driven by, like I say, the Brocks, because it was actually driven in anger. By Peter, and there's a little bit of information here that we can talk about. So it was in 2001, and Peter was participating in a demonstration category.
Because they were invited, they couldn't place officially in the races, but
yes.
A lot of the time they're actually in top 10.
Yeah, I was just reading that. You just beat me.
In what is a standard SS Ute.
Wow.
He drove it that hard down in Tasmania that he melted the power steering pump off the block.
Gosh.
And they had to replace it on the side of the road using a pump off a car from the showroom floor. So that's what the photos actually are there of them actually replacing the power steering pump.
That's amazing. What a huge loss that was. I mean, I remember that time. There were two iconic Australians. You had Steve Irwin and Peter Brock. Both went in quick succession, and both were just heroes of mine for completely different reasons. And outside, we've got another story. So again, a VK, and done up in the Brock livery, 05 Holden dealer team. Can I open this, Mitchell? Is this possible, or if it opens?
Maybe not.
Maybe not. You can see there's certainly not much there in the way of noise deadening, sound protection.
And we've got a black motor in the front.
A black motor in the front.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell me anything much about this car? Obviously, it's a replica.
It's a replica. That's really all I know. It is set up with racing, all the structural reinforcements. It's got the tank in the boot. Has a massive exhaust out the side of it, which we'll show you in a sec. But that's really all there is to know. Yeah.
I guess you could say it's an authentic recreation of the original car. One would think.
We actually have some people come in. We've had two lots of people come in, and they've actually measured all the little stickers, the replicas that they're actually building as well, which is fantastic to see.
And perhaps interestingly enough, this car gets semi-garaged because it's in an area here where it is covered, but it's out on the balcony, and the general public drive past and see this car on display from the road.
Yeah, certainly an eye catcher.
It is, yes. And you couldn't just go to the Holden dealer and order, I'll have one of those with this paint job. And you said the exhaust was something to...
On the side.
On the other side. Side exhaust. Oh, there we go, folks. Try and get that past your regulations for registering. I think you might have a few problems there with noise regs and the EPA. From an age where motoring mattered, and I won't get started about electric vehicles. My fiance will fry me if she thinks I'm being controversial. Let's just say I'm not a supporter of EVs, that is. But I love electric items. My toaster works really well.
Yes.
So does my air fryer. Okay, we've just left the Brock Cafe. I forgot to mention that it's the Brock Cafe. And we've come to one of the recent additions at the Holden Museum, in that, you guessed it, it's a Holden, surprise, surprise, but it's an original Sandman. And Mitchell, can you tell us anything about this particular machine, this recent shagging wagon, or whatever you like to call it?
It is absolutely beautiful in the blue.
Yes.
So it's a numbers Sandman. We've got the certificate downstairs. It was converted to an auto and LPG.
I noticed the LPG there. Converted to auto.
Yes, wouldn't you be kicking yourself?
Oh my goodness.
But you still would not turn your eyes up at it, that's for sure.
No.
To find one of these is, hen's teeth.
It's even got the mattress in the back there. There you go, folks. Take it to the drive-in or whatever, the beach, surfboards on top or whatever. And just don't see them much anymore. I wouldn't say I'd be keen to convert it to an auto. Gas, I understand if you were that way inclined, but I still drive my dinosaurs and just pay through the nose. It was a very straight car.
Yeah, I believe the auto conversion would have been done years ago.
Yes. Lovely. Complete with the GDS wheels. And it looks like they've been widened, or those rear ones have been widened, I would say. Coming over here, we've got a GTS Monaro.
Yeah, so we've got a 186S.
186, the small one.
6-cylinder, but you would not turn you wouldn't run away from it, that's for sure. Beautiful car, in pristine condition. Even the door cards and everything, it's just like it came out of the factory. It hasn't been restored. It's all
Oh,
original.
really?
Yeah.
complete with the hubcaps.
We actually had the lady who was the infamous lady in the cat suit in the ads for these. Turns out she's a local lady.
Oh, my
Come
goodness.
and visited us, yes.
Flutes in the guards and the pinstriping, or the striping, I should say. It's just, yeah, they were just timeless, the shape. And somewhat akin to the American at the time. Of course, we followed the trends of the American. When you look at the GTOs and those kind of things, they had that same kind of the sloping, yes. And it's a design that's held up really well over the years. And try to buy one of these in any condition, and you're looking at big dollars. Yeah. Wow, that's just awesome. Of course, these cars could come out in a number of motors too. You had the 186, which of course was the baby of the family, but then I believe you had the 253, the 308, and then later you had the 327 and the 350.
That's right. Yeah, there was lots of different engine choices.
Yeah.
There is a story that they measured the engine bay for the what was the bigger one you said?
The 350.
The 350. They measured the engine bay for the 350, and it didn't fit. So that sped up Holden's design to create their own V8.
There you go.
And then it was delayed, and they decided to measure it again months later, and found that it fitted.
Of course, you do know that Holden didn't always use the 308, because actually I lied when I said 308, because some of these came out with the Canadian 307s as well. And a member of my family actually had a Monaro, and this will be a funny story. My brother had I think it was a HT, but it was a road-going Monaro with a 307 Canadian motor in, and it wasn't pristine, but it was road-going. And he decided at the time, this was in the 80s, he decided at the time, he was only a young fella, as was I, many moons ago, he decided that the car was a bit too rough to worry about, so he pulled the motor out and actually buried the car on what is still mum and dad's property. And buried it, used it for landfill when we were doing road works and various other things. And it was probably 8 or 9 years ago, we stood at the point and he said, I wonder what the car's like under there. And I said, mate, it's northern New South Wales. Forget about it. It's under the ground, and it's had a bucket load of rain over the years, and it's no longer there. If you're lucky, you'd get the tags. So yeah, it's great to see.
Your favourite?
This particular car is a HD. Came from South Australia. I think it has 42,000 miles or something.
That is correct.
And when I was talking to Jeff some time ago, and on one of my YouTube films, I asked him what his favourite Holden of all cars was, and he actually pointed me to this very car and said, believe it or not, the HD was much maligned by many people, but in Jeff's eyes, the owner who has all these amazing cars, this is actually his favourite car.
It's so beautiful in this sort of, baby sky blue and the white roof and the cream interior. It's really stood the test of time. It's a really beautiful example.
Released in 1965, these cars. So we're talking slightly before my time. Actually, it's not 42,000. It says here it's actually 14 and a half.
We're right with the Ford.
Yes. Sold by Maitland Motors in South Australia, 14,500. Sorry about that, folks. Only 30,000 between mates. Delightful. And they don't make them like they used to is never truer than when you're looking at these cars. Sadly, I'm not. Yeah, I wish they could make them like they used to, but anyway. And here we have what became as a GTS Monaro.
With, I believe, an A9X V8 in it.
Is that right? Of course, you wouldn't know just by looking at it. The severe enthusiasts, the diehards, would be able to say, yes, you look at this number, obviously by the numbers, but there may be differences apart from that. I do have a friend who has a number of A9Xs. He could tell me. Les, let me know, buddy. T-bar auto, V8. Not sure if it's 253 or a 308. I'm not even going to worry about that. It's just that it's preserved and it looks remarkably clean. Probably has seen very little road work over the years. This is a HJ, this one. So started in October 1974. And
131,000 Ks.
131,000 Ks. For a V8 motored car, just run in really. But of course the killer in these wasn't the mileage, it was the rust in the plenum chambers and the rust in the sills and all those kind of things that we did so poorly in the 70s and the 80s with. Just beautiful. You and I and Gemini.
Little Gemini, which is good. We've shoehorned it in.
And having owned one of these and still got one, oh, that is shoehorned in. So look at that, the mirrors had to be folded to just sneak in. So who was it that had to measure it with the tape and so forth?
That was me.
That was you.
That was myself. So measured and then clenched the teeth when inserting.
Oh. So TE Holden Gemini this is. You can tell by a number of the dash and the front there. TE Holden Gemini from 80 till about 83. Velour interior. TEs usually came out with either an automatic or a 4-speed box. And after that, the TFs and TGs came out with 5. I think you may have been able to get the 5-speed in the TE as an option. It's even got the original metal wheels, steel wheels. It's in beautiful condition. Obviously hasn't seen much road work either, because sadly, 2 factors of these Geminis killed them, and that was racing and rust. The dreaded R's, racing and rust. And sadly they do rust even when parked. Unfortunately, my cars are a testament to that.
There's a little bit of rust on the back bumper.
Back bumper I've seen. Back bumper needs replacing or attention. I have seen that. I won't film it.
Beautiful 202 here that was restored by one of our volunteers. It's done an amazing job with that, and also the engine out of an old grey motor, out of the same motor that was in the 48.
There you go. You want an engine transplant, folks?
Yeah.
There we go.
So Dennis Johnson's done an amazing job.
I know Dennis very well.
These. Yes.
He's very meticulous. Of course, he has an old Holden now too. And the HR police car. Imagine getting pulled up with this thing blowing the sirens, hey? Loud hailing you down. It's hard to imagine that this thing would have given you that feeling of dread. Oh no, when you see this pull up behind you.
So this one, I believe, actually spent a lot of its retired life in a barn or shed in Cootapee, I believe.
Oh, there you go.
When it was purchased, it had been stored in, I believe, in a shed.
Which
so
would,
that way there's no humidity.
I was going to say, which would certainly attest to the body condition that you'll
really
see.
Helped with no rust.
Yeah.
And the elements. Yeah.
Yes. Wow. Fantastic. And for those people that were keen on Kingswood Country, here's an early model Kingswood with the 186 motor. And these were the start of the Kingswoods. And it says here that 198,000 of these were made. So this is a HG, this particular example. And bench seat, probably a column auto or 3-speed. Can't see, I think that might be a 3-speed manual. But again, really, really clean in all the areas that they rusted, that they weathered. Just no problems there whatsoever.
This is actually a local car, Stu. Spent its life in Harwood.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was just up at Harwood 2 days ago.
Yeah. So it's good to have a local one here. It's probably one of my favourite of the older cars.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
With that green and the white just sets it off.
That pastel was a real look of the late 60s and 70s in Australia, in the Holdens anyway.
Beautiful colour.
Yep, okay, I'll just... Getting towards the end of the Holden collection here at the National Holden Museum. And I'll say again, thank you to Mitchell for giving up his time. On a day off, you come in here to...
Pleasure to take you around. Yeah, give you the guided tour and everyone watching.
Yeah, so, FC. Mate, you don't see them like this much anymore.
No. So this one, we believe an enthusiast back in the day has actually added all the chrome trims from a special onto it. Just a beautiful looking car, and like a cubic metre of chrome on the front.
Of course, these early F-Series Holdens were very akin to the American equivalent of the Chevs that they had at the time. Yeah. So we like to say that they're proudly Australian, but they were really mimicking their bigger brothers, I guess you could say, at the time. And Australia did it so well, or General Motors did it so well, but this is what we've got. This is the nostalgia and the memorabilia that we have to cope with. And it's actually got club plates by the look of that. Rego papers on the seat, whether it's still registered or not, but it has been until recently. So a later model restoration or I dare say. But again, very clean, and those rubbers, things like the fitting of the rubbers and how clean it is, that you can't see any evidence of any bubbling or any kind of dramas. And of course, you couldn't go past that bonnet ornament, so synonymous with the 50s and 60s. Moving on to the very last EJ. And this one, I believe, was sold new in Coffs Harbour.
Yes. So
another local car. A special. I don't know, and perhaps some of the viewers can tell me what actually do you know? I guess you could say identified a car as a special. Do you know anything about that? I don't.
Officially, no. Apart from extra chrome.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. Because I know that not all cars were badged as specials, so, but you could get them, and I wasn't sure what the exact characteristics of a special was. And of course, this is made in a very attractive hue of two-tone brown, in an age where this was quite acceptable. That lovely bench seat with the, I guess you could call it biscuit trim. It looks like it's a biscuit with some cream and some chocolate in the middle. I'm being, shut up, Stuart.
If you look at it from the front here, you can see that the lines on the bonnet line up with the lines on the front and the rear benches.
Oh, there you go. Look at you go, hey? Very artistic of you there, Mitch. Look at that, folks. Symmetry. Symmetry in action for all the mathematicians. There's the axis of symmetry straight down the middle of the bonnet, and it includes the interior. There you go, kids. There's your axis of symmetry. Wow. And talking about some history here, this bunker display which we're in, the National Holden Museum and Bunker Art Gallery. While we're walking, I guess you could say this actually was a bunker.
Yeah, so underneath us was a World War II bunker which was used for communications. So here where we are situated, very close proximity to the airport.
Wow.
So during the war, Coffs Harbour was a bit of a target with our airport and also our jetty. And there was actually a lot of activity off our coast here directly, and there was a few ships sunk out there.
There you go.
A bit of submarine activity as well.
I was going to say, any submarines? Yeah, wow.
So they had us here hidden in the bushes. So this upstairs bit is all new. This was built in 2021. But underneath us is the bunker, which we'll show you shortly. These big cement blocks are actually the original ventilation shafts that go down into the bunker.
Gosh.
So they retained that when building this top level.
So maybe I shouldn't post this film because they might be able to work out the coordinates of where we are and enemy territory here.
It gives us a little bit of logistical issues for when we're trying to get a layout.
Yes.
Cars.
Yeah. Yes. Certainly. It's like who ordered this spa? You did it all wrong.
Yeah.
It's like a big spa, but hey, hang on a moment, it's all done in concrete. Great. Well, thank you, mate. This has been a wonderful experience, but I believe there's a fraction more. We'll have a quick look downstairs, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
But how wonderful that history comes to life, and it's just great to see that this came to fruition.
Certainly a wonderful thing for Coffs Harbour and also
Yes.
our local motoring enthusiasts.
Absolutely.
And tourists that come to visit too.
Yes. And gives you something to spend your time on, because
Keeps me out of trouble.
You didn't. You got no time to take drugs and rob banks or anything like that now.
robbing banks. Yeah.
So this is the original bunker behind the glass here. Gosh. Victory in Europe, 8th of May 1945. Victory in the Pacific, 15th of August 1945. Australian Royal Air Force, or RAF as we call them. There you go. So, history in the making in more ways than one, not just as a Holden Museum.
Yeah, so this was all underground.
Yes.
All covered by earth until they did the extensions upstairs. They uncovered it and have this beautiful glass wall for us to look at the structure. Yeah.
And of course, the best thing is that no snotty-nosed kids can come along with pencils and cut grooves or Mitchell was here or anything like that. No. So, which is a great thing. Wow. Awesome.
This is the Japanese map of our Coffs Harbour coastline.
Yes. There you go. The Japanese map. So there you go, folks. They were plotting. And how did they lost the war, but after the war they won the war, and they proliferated our existence with cars and then electrical appliances. And the days of the Japanese victory was after the war. And the museum has a number of gifts and memorabilia that's available. She's a beauty, cars we used to drive, racing Humpy Holdens, special models, you name it, books, posters, t-shirts, memorabilia, which is just great. Motoring for the masses. And that was really the idea behind Holden when they became Australia's own car. And just a slight detour in here to what we now call the Bunker Art Gallery. And this is the art gallery that's housed inside the bunker.
Yeah, so we're inside the bunker here, Stu. Rotary came and actually cleaned up the bunker. So it was originally all abandoned, full of snakes and spiders and nasty rubbish. So the local Rotary Club came and cleaned it up. And then the bunker began to house their Rotary cartoon awards each year. So that's been going for a number of years now. Have over 25,000 cartoons in the collection.
A lot of them political, and I will not answer to political hate mail or anything like that. All viewpoints here are I guess you could say, from the artists themselves. So a lot of politics, and I do know that there's a lot of cars as well, but the topic for the day seems to be Trump. We're in 2025, and Donald Trump, who knows what will happen in the future, but Donald Trump is in the second time of power, I guess you could say, in America, but the implications for the world are huge. And I'm not going to go into whether it's good or bad or indifferent. I've got my own views, and I'd like to keep it my own views, but lots of political satire, tongue-in-cheek kind of comments, and usually done through the commemoration of artworks. Some other notables, I guess, many who I have never seen before or heard of.
So currently have this year's Rotary Cartoon Awards on display. So we change it every sort of 6 to 8
years. Yes, it's different to when I last saw it a number of months ago now. It'd be quite a job to put these up and down.
It is a big job, framing them all as well.
Oh, and you guys do all that?
Yeah, so we have a great collection of volunteers here who are very dedicated, so they curate, frame and take down the old display, put up the new display.
Would look good on your CV, mate, all the skills that you've acquired.
There's a lot of work that they
yeah, wow. Done a great job with this bunker. I didn't realise this thing was almost derelict when they got to it. I just assumed that it had always been kept in this kind of condition.
Yeah.
So if you're into Phantom comics, folks, I'm not, but this is the place to come to. Couldn't tell you a thing about Phantom except he's a superhero of some sort. Well, I'd like to thank you very much for your tour, Mitchell, and giving up your time. And this is just amazing. It's opened my eyes to so many things. To go up there by yourself, you see a lot of interesting things, but you've been able to do what I like to do on Stoo's Secret Stash, and that is attach those little stories and those little anecdotes, which is so important part of our history.
It's a lot of memories for everyone. We thought when we first opened upstairs, we were studying all this technical information.
Yes.
We're going to get asked questions.
Which no one cares about. Who cares what time it did 0 to 100 Ks?
Everyone comes in and they've got a story to tell.
Yes.
And some of the stories we hear are just absolutely amazing.
Great.
Lots of stories of the car that got away, they sold and now
yes,
regret.
Yes.
Which as we've
all got that.
Those.
Yes.
But yeah, memory lane for a lot of different people.
Great. No worries, mate. Thank you so much.
Yeah.